Hello, everybody. I'm glad to see you today. Today we are going to discuss with you a quite useful topic. The topic is called reported speech. What is reported speech? Reported speech, this is when we want to retell somebody's thoughts, words, or somebody's beliefs, anything what the person said, and we want to retell this phrase to another person. Sometimes we can use not only reported speech, we can use direct speech, which is the speech which we use directly about the person, for example, imitating his voice, like, I always tell you to do something. My mom says this, and but quite often we report the words, we retell them, and in this case we need to know some particular rules to say this correctly. I would like to show you a picture. It looks like that. Can you see the picture? Me? Okay, so if you look at the picture, we have here, I'm very clever, and she reports like he thinks he's very clever, or he had the nerve to tell me he was very clever. So this is the dialogue, and this is the reporting when she reports somebody how he fixed her TV or her computer, quite old one. So in this case, in the second picture, you can see that reported speech was used when she was telling her friend how the man repaired her TV set. So talking to somebody on the phone or talking just to somebody, we need to follow some particular rules. I would like to show you these rules, and I would like to show you the examples of reported speech. I don't know whether you can see well or not. I hope you can see well. So the topic is reported speech, and we have here two examples. The first example, I teach English online, she said. This is direct speech, we can say it, or yeah, this is direct one. Direct speech. This is the example. She said she taught English online. This is reported speech, or we can also say indirect speech. Indirect or reported speech. Reported. If we look at how we change the sentence, we can make some conclusions about the rules that we need to follow. The rule number one, when we report somebody's words, we need to change pronouns. As you can see, we have here I, and when we report it, we say she. The second rule that we need to follow is to change the tense, because we need to follow the rule of sequences of tenses. If our first part is in past, like she said, so that means that the second part, the main part which we retell, must also follow the sequences of tenses rules, so must be in some kind of past as well. So we have here, I teach present simple, she taught is past simple. Let's talk about this. Maybe I think, as for me, this is the main rule, and about other rules we will talk a little bit later when I use this flip chart one more time. So the rules that you need to follow using reported speech. The priority that you need to know is that you need to use changes of tenses. When we report somebody who said in present simple, we need to make step back, and we will use this tense in past simple. So for example, this is present simple. I go to yoga class every day, and when somebody reports my my sentence, he has to say, she said she went to yoga class every day, like that. And actually, this rule we need to follow for all present tenses, which is very easy. All present tenses, doesn't matter what kind of type you have to make step back, and then it becomes a reported speech sentence. Like, I am going to the cinema. She said she was going to the cinema. I have gone I have gone to Paris. That sounds lovely. She said she had gone to Paris. And I have been going to this cafe for 10 years. And she said she had been going to this cafe for 10 years, or for that cafe. So this is the rule that you have to follow, and it's quite simple. All present tenses must be used when we report this sentence, or must be used in past tenses. Quite easy, I guess. Let's move on. When we have past, for past I will use another color that you understand that it's so the original sentence, the direct speech, is past simple. Yesterday I went shopping. When we want to report this sentence, we need to say she said she had gone shopping. So our past simple becomes past perfect. This is how it changes. Yesterday I was going to help my mom, but couldn't. So she said, past continuous we have here, and we need to change it. She had been going to help her mom. Sounds weird a bit, but she couldn't. Maybe not the real construction to be going to. Yesterday I was going shopping, let's say, and she had been going shopping, she said. So in reported speech, our past continuous becomes past perfect continuous. Good news that when we have the tense in past perfect, we want to report it, we don't change, no changes. Over here, no changes. And the same about past perfect continuous. Also, I will draw it. If we have the original sentence, the direct speech in past perfect, we don't use any change when we report it, because actually there is no step back. We can't go anywhere further. There is no more past. No changes. Sorry. But I guess you, anyway, you hear what I'm saying. Sorry. The same, quite easy rules you can follow when you want to use future forms. You have here future simple. I will go to Asia one day, for example, future simple. When we want to report it, we need just to change will into its form would. So I would go, for example, I would go to Asia one day. She said she would go to Asia one day. I will be going, or I will be flying over the Atlantics tomorrow. And when we want to report it, she said she would be flying. Again, we just change will into would. And we need to do the same about all the tenses. Future tenses, I mean. I will have, for example, I will have done this work by Thursday. And when we report it, we need to say, I would have. She said she would have done this work by Thursday. Would. And the same about will have been going. Quite a long construction, but anyway, you just change will into would. For example, by the end of the year, I will have been going to yoga class for 10 years. And when we want to report it, we say by the end of she said that by the end of the year, she would have been going to yoga class for 10 years. Long one, but this is how you have to do it. So the rules that you need to follow are very simple in tenses. When we report somebody's words, we need to make step back. All present tenses become past tenses. Past simple and past continuous become past perfect and past perfect continuous accordingly. And in all future forms, we just change will into would. That's it. So especially if you have to do a task, it's very easy to follow. It's kind of math. You just go down, 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 back, and will into would. That's it. But it's always but. Except tense changes, we need to follow other rules. And this is what I would like to talk to you a bit more. We have here some time and place phrases. that when we need to report somebody's words, we need to change them. For example, I will write you over here a short example that you will see and understand why we need to do it. Example, this week I am not working. This is our direct speech, right? This week I'm not working. When we report it, we need to say, she said, or she told me, let's say. She wasn't working that week. And that's the rule that we need to follow. So we change pronoun I, we change into she. I'm not working. This is present continuous. We change into past continuous. And this week we need to change into that week because why? Because it's not this week anymore. It's already past. It's already that week, the week that was before. That's why you need to follow this rule. So let's look at these words. These are quite typical time and place phrases which we use in our everyday speech, and how to change them. If we have this, for example, give me this, she told me to give her that. This week, as you can see, we change into that week. Sorry. Just a second. Today we change into that day. Tonight we need to change into that night. Well, because to, that means this. When we have tomorrow, we change it into the following day. The following day or the day after. And the same phrase we use all future for all future phrases. For example, next week we say the following week, or again the week after. Now we change into then, because now is now and then it was somewhere in the past. When we have past phrases, we need to say yesterday, the day before, or the previous day. And again, all these phrases we need, all these past phrases follow the same rule. So the previous day or the day before. Also, please pay attention that we use the articles with these phrases. The following day or the previous day, the day before or the week after. Last week, again, that will be just simple. The previous week or the week before. Oops. And ago. If we have, for example, 2 weeks ago, we say, how we say, 2 weeks previously, sorry. 2 weeks previously, I usually say 2 weeks before. These are time phrases. We have also place phrases. Place phrases are quite simple. We have the place, for example, here, like let's meet here, and we need to change it into there because we are not here anymore. We are somewhere in another place. I guess that's it about the place. It can be, for example, this cinema, so you need to change it into that cinema. The rule is the same that you need to follow. Maybe I will give you a little bit more information, and after that we will have some practice. Except tenses, which we use sometimes, we use modal verbs. Write you them. Modals. Simple sentences. he can drive. When we want to report it, we need to follow all our rules. So he said or she said he could drive. So some modal verbs we need to change. Not all of them, but some of them sound much better in reported speech when we change it. So we change can into could, may into might, and must we can change into had to. We have also other modal verbs such as should, could, would, sometimes, well, had to. They don't change. We have also here, sorry, I forgot, we have here have to also. Have to have the same form. Have to or must. In the past, when we want to report it, we say had to. This is about modals, quite simple to understand if you're intermediate or upper level. I'm sure you know that and you feel that. Except modals, we have one more rule that we need to follow. This is about conditionals. Also quite simple, but anyway. Conditionals. We have, as you know, 4 types of conditionals, and good news that we need to change only first 2 types, 0 and first conditional. Second and third conditionals usually are not changed. Let me look at my examples that I prepared. For example, if we are late, we always get a taxi. This is our direct speech. I can say like that. For example, they said. So when we want to report this sentence, we need, this is our 0 conditional, by the way. So they said if they were, if they were late, they always got a taxi. Actually, we follow our rule. We have here present simple and present simple. We change the tense and it becomes past simple and past simple. This is 0 conditional. And for the first conditional, we change will, as you know, into would. The example is the same, but this is about future. If we are late, we will get a taxi. Again, they said. So when we report it, we change it. Let's say she said, if they were late, past simple, we change present simple into past simple. This is they. They would get a taxi. So we change our will into would, as it was discussed before when we were talking about tenses. I guess it's time to do a little bit of practice. Let's look at some exercises. I will show you a few sentences. Please look at them and think how to change them. You don't need to write, we don't have a lot of time, but you can just think. So let's look at the first sentence. In the first sentence, we have here future, as you can see, and let's try to change it. It's quite easy. I think you need only to change one example over here. She said she would come. We change will into would. and see us, not you, because we change all pronouns, not only subject pronouns. On Friday, if that was all right. That is present simple, we change into was. Quite simple. The next example we have here future continuous, and as I said, quite easy. We just change will into would. Be careful, we have here the word tomorrow. If the word tomorrow, so we need to change it a bit too. The statement said that the conference would be spending a considerable time discussing the world debt crisis the day after or the following day. The next present continuous, and we change it into past continuous. She explained the shop was closing. We don't need to change any pronouns. We don't have any pronouns here. The next one, we are going our construction, and also next month, please be careful. The managing director said they were going, and we have here next month, we change into the following month. The next, present perfect continuous, think how to change it. Quite easy, we change it into past perfect continuous. Have been investigating, we say had been investigating. The next we have here zero conditional. No, not zero conditional, just a sentence, sorry, in past simple. And we change past simple tense into past perfect. In number 7, we have present continuous and also a phrase of place here, which we change into there. Sentence number 8, future perfect, continuous. No, future perfect, sorry. And we change it into would, will into would. I will have finished, she would have finished. And the time you get here, so this is present simple, we change into past simple. The time I got there. Here we need to change into there. Last 4 sentences, please. You can make the pause and try it after the webinar to do it by yourself if you want. So we got here past continuous, and it must be changed into past perfect continuous. Also pay attention that past simple we change into past perfect, and last year is changed into the previous year or the year before. Number 10 sentence, past simple, the club lost. Last month, also pay attention. And the treasurer told the meeting the club had lost and the month before. Number 11, future, we change into would. He agreed it would be a very difficult time. And the last one, we have here just the present simple and modal verb should. As I said before, we don't need to change it. He told me I worked too hard, and the next sentence, I should take more time. So we don't change should, because should is should in reported speech. That's it. Let's make a conclusion. Okay. So, of course, we have a lot of rules which you need to follow. But as soon as you start practicing it, as soon as you, for example, the best practice, I think, is at the end of the day to think what somebody told you and try to write it down, or at least to think how to report these phrases to your maybe partner, or to your children, or to your husband, to your mom. Think about it in English, and I don't know, after a couple of days, you will feel much more confident using reported speech. Of course, these are not all rules, but these are the main rules that you need to follow when you want to use reported speech. Thank you very much for your time. See you soon.